Hello, everyone. Oh, I'm so tempted to say welcome to the funeral. Welcome to a funeral of whatever kind that you'd like it to be. When I say I am flat, this is as flat as I've been all season. I know Dyson Sharp went down, Braden Fiorini went down, but this has floored me. 2 metre Peter out for 6 weeks, potential PCL. I'm flat. I'm so flat. And I've already told Pommy he's living the high life after one win. They reckon they're winning the premiership. We're going to be so unbalanced, our energy tonight. So chat and everybody here, I'm just pre-warning you. There's probably going to be a few snipes from my end because Pommy is living the good life and I'm in al depresso right now. So, but hello, everyone. I hope you're all well. Hope you've had a happy Monday up until now. Let's bring the great man in. Did you hear me loud and clear, Pom?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to be happy, chat. So I'll tone it down. I'll tone it down.
I'm kidding. I'm sort of kidding, but I'm also not.
Look, we'll pretend it's like a great uncle that's died, that's left us $1 million, who was horrible to us as kids. So I'll do that reaction where I'll pretend to be sad, but deep down I know I've got $1 million coming. So cool.
Fine. Even fake sympathy I'll take at this point because man has this absolutely flattened me. I mean, I was trying to stay upbeat and above board and it's my own fault on the fan cams. I said the only things keeping me going are Archie May and Sullivan Roby and I forgot to include 2 metre Peter in that and I should have. So it's my fault, honestly. I mean, how fucked up is this? Like, not only is the guy in career best form, but when he hobbled off in the first 5 minutes of the first quarter, I was sitting behind the benches. I could see how much pain he was in. He went straight down under the race, came back out. They probably jabbed him. And not only that, but he plays out the entire game. He would have been in so much pain. Bryza only went at 55, 56%. So it's not like they upped Nick Bryan's game time to give 2 metre Peter a bit more of a rest. They did play him deep forward for a lot of the game, but he played out the entire game, laid the most amount of tackles across both teams. Like, who is this guy? I'm just gutted for him. I'm just totally gutted for him because he was the only senior player stepping up and saying, nah, not on my watch. Will I go down with potentially this ship? I'm just gutted for him, Pom.
Well, I was live when you announced the news that Peter Wright was out for 8 weeks. But as I came off my last show, went and had my dinner, and I read it, and I was like, Fiona's going to be in a great mood in the next hour.
Well, it just means that you and the chat and everyone watching has a bigger job to get me through this because, it's just so fucked up. Like I just cannot believe. I saw a post saying we play Richmond next week. We've got 2 wins between us and 35 injuries. It's just in the season.
That could be a huge game, couldn't it? That's going to be both sides desperate for a win.
But are we now? Now I'm just like, now I don't care. This has just ended me. I don't care anymore. I just don't care anymore.
Well, you do though secretly, but I mean, this is like a huge win, huge win.
I think it's huge in terms of the future of our coach, in terms of the more holistic view. If this gets us the number 1 mid-season draft pick, does it not? Are we all in agreement on that? I think that is undeniable now. Eagles got another win. Carlton got another win. We're battling the Tigers. And if we lose, then thank you, Kate. Thank you. Much love, chat. You're already making me feel a little bit better. I'm seeing everything you're saying.
I suppose there's 2 ways to say about it because there was some mental Carlton fans 2 weeks ago who reckoned we were tanking for pick 1. But losing is habitually as well. It's like a habit. So,
absolutely.
I don't think either of our sides who have been serial losers for nearly 20 years can really afford to go out there and try and lose. Like,
No, we're just that shit. Like we don't need to tank. We're shit all by ourselves. I did think. I wonder if this actually urges them to speed up Vigo Visentini. I know we've got Blackiston there, but yeah, I mean Brian's not even playing close to 80% ruck time. I wonder if they feel pressured. He's played one VFL game back from a hamstring injury. He was rested from training last week, so perhaps pulled up a little bit sore. But I just wonder now, Chat and Pom, if they try and expedite Vigo and get him some games quickly.
Essendon's injuries is just bizarre, isn't it? Over the last couple of years, because you changed most of your backfield staff as well, didn't you?
Our strength and conditioning, we changed the entire department. And to their credit, these are all very unlucky contact injuries or just very unlucky injuries. It's only been 2 soft tissue injuries, so it's just honestly, it's just bad luck. And we've walked under ladders and broken mirrors and cats and all the shit. It's just all shit. All right.
Look. I know it doesn't mean much at the minute, but like at the end of the day, look, like you can't check out. You've got to like keep going. Like I always say this, as sad as
Are you sure about that? Because I feel like some of our senior players have checked out. Don't know about you. We'll get to them soon, but
I mean, on the strength and conditioning, the great Andrew Burgess, who's been AFL top guy. He's been.
Isn't it Darren Burgess?
Sorry, Darren Burgess. He always used to say it takes 2 to 3 years for strength and conditioning to show fruit. It's a slow burn. Funny? So he used to say 12 months you'll get the hit of like fitness levels, but 2 to 3 years you'll really see it go across the board. It's a slow burn. So that's one thing. But I always say this: no matter how pissed off I get with Carlton, and look, we won a game this week. You always win when you kill a coach. Like it's a rule. It's a rule. But I always make my promise that I won't check out on the team, because then I can't tell the players off for checking out. Like, so every Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday, I am my usual. We're going to win this game, because if I'm not like that, how do I have the right to criticize the players?
Oh, look, we all know I'm going nowhere. We all know I'm going nowhere, but I'm 1 hour fresh of hearing the 2 meter Peter news, and I want to jump off the balcony, quite frankly. So, but after this couple of hours, I'm sure I'll be back to my usual.
Peter Wright will be there right now. Arm around Nick Bryan, arm around Big Vig, and teaching them the dark arts. Going, look, boys. You're going to have to do it without me, but this is what you got to do. Do me proud for 8 weeks. Do me proud.
All right, if we must. On that note, let's start, shall we? And of course, who's at the top of the list?
Where do we start this week? Oh, okay, mids.
We always start here, but I mean, I said it earlier. You know. The most tackles on the entire ground. I could tell he was in pain, but I thought they sent him back out there for the entire game, that he was just a bit of a knock or a corky or something, but credit to him. He stayed out there, and, he played deep forward for a lot of the second half, which was probably a bit of maintenance, but I felt like he took his opponent out of May's space regularly and Caddy's space regularly while he did that. So a bit of a sacrificial role, which was probably really trying to keep him just not doing too much and running too much. So I thought he had another good game, but quiet for his standards in terms of what he's produced in the previous month.
Bombers Rocket fan makes a great case, and genuinely disgraceful, to be fair, that a guy with half a working body is putting more effort and intensity in than his fellow senior players. Like that's
all, as you would say, that's all heart. That's like a will to just. I have had a knee reconstruction and a total knee restabilization, so I know somewhat pain. of a dislocating kneecap 2 to 3 times a day and having to push it back in myself. So I know some pain in that department, but to think the pain he would have been in and not said, well, I just can't play or I'm just going to sit on the bench. Like, that's just heart and will.
Look, you can't teach balls. You can't teach heart. You can't teach pride. There's something you're either born with or you just disregard. And Peter's got that in abundance. Big loss as well, because he's been quite the ruckman as well for us over the last 3 weeks. I know we've got around him, which, I mean, that was a haul in itself, but it's become a very big haul. But now Brian has got to do it. Like, there's no can he do it now? And maybe that's a blessing in disguise. If there's one positive, now Brian, there is no fail. Like, there is no fail. There is no maybe. It is, you either do it or you're going to find yourself working at Coles pretty soon. And
you know what? This is what he wants. He wants to be the number one ruckman. And now we've been easing him in, Pom. He's been in the shallow pool. So what's called the shallow end or the baby pool. And now he's the kiddie pool. Now he's got a deep dive. And I think TL said, they'll probably lift his minutes up to 70, maybe 60. And Blackiston probably does the rest of the hit outs until Vigo's ready, because he probably needs another couple in the VFL. But
to be fair, I learned, like all my brothers, we learned to swim in Whitby Pier, right? Up Whitby. But my grandfather just chucked us in. Kicked us off the pier. Just kicked us off the pier. And you either drowned in the sea or you swam. I can tell you, I survived, as you can see. Worked the doggy paddle out. So that's what Nick Bryan's going to be. It's a cruel way to learn to swim, though. As my granddad used to say, 1 out of 3 of you will survive. We did all survive, though, fortunately. But yeah, I'll give him 2 votes.
Yeah, I think, big challenge. And as you say, potentially a blessing in disguise. He's essentially going to be part of the cohort that takes us forward. I see him as still a young player as part of this rebuild, you know? So he's got to be part, the middle of the ground, and give the mids some silver service. All righty, let's move on to Sam Durham, Pom.
It does.
Your guy, one of your guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be totally honest. Durham, this wasn't his best. He looked like he'd found a bit of form the week before, but I felt this was kind of like conditional. Is that harsh on Doz? Maybe it is harsh. I felt it was conditional.
I think I used that exact word on the fan cam.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like he turned it on when he needed to. And I think he's at the stage of his career. This is why I like Doz. He's got to be better. Like if Merritt doesn't want to lead, Parrish doesn't want to lead, these guys don't want to lead, you've got to do it. Like, you're in the market. I think playing for Essendon Football Club would be the greatest gig in the world at the minute, because the fans are desperate for the next hero. Take it. It's there. All you've got to do is do it. So, yeah, it does. I expect more. This was an okay game, but I expect more from my Doz.
The painful part is that what he did do was terrific and it was elite, but it just was conditional, as you say. And you know, I thought, you know, when the game was there to be won, when it was hard work, as you like to say, that some of these senior players step up when the game is done and it's easy. Well, I thought this was Duz's day. In the first quarter, he only had 2 possessions. He finished the day with, 20 disposals, 11 of them contested. And, I love the fact that he was the most effective at ground level with 9 ground ball gets. I'm big on that. But, that first quarter, very disappointing. And in some ways, I'm judging them on their first quarter, their first halves, more than the second halves. Because the second halves is when it was all shiny and fun and pressure's off, and they get to play a bit out of their skin. But when it's tough, it wasn't it for Does for me. He did have 3 score launches, so which was equal first, equal most on the ground, but just want to see it across all 4 quarters, and he's got to hold himself to that standard, now. So I gave him a 2, but not feeling great about it. You?
I gave him 0 votes.
Okay.
But I think you've touched on something brilliantly there. The first and second quarters amongst the worst rated on the ground. Does was there. Merritt was there. Darcy Parish was there. Like, that is disgusting. Like for me, that leaves a sour taste in my mouth as a fan. And don't want to repeat the rant I had about my Blue Boys 3 weeks ago. But unacceptable when the ball is bounced that the guys that are paid to be the leaders and the senior players, their head's not in the fight. Don't mind the kids. Wait until the 4th quarter to have a tail wag. But you should be going out there and saying, you know what, I'll die in this first half if I have to. But I'm setting the standard. You can't just tail wag towards the end. And Does was annoying because his 4th quarter was, if he'd done that for 4 quarters, we'd be talking about a potential Brownlow vote. But it's not good when there's 80 points difference on the margin. Agreed.
All right, well, on to Darcy Parish, who offensively had a good game, but unfortunately, as you alluded to, just when it didn't matter and when the pressure was off. In saying that, though, offensively, he was still quite good in the first quarter. But the second quarter, and he was on the ground for 70% of it. He was there in amongst it. The second quarter, he absolutely lost it, had no interest in going either way, to be honest. He finished the day with 8 score involvements and 6 inside 50. So he did do some good things, but got to be judged, as we said, with Does, got to be judged on when it matters.
The one thing that got me in this game that really annoyed me about this game was the ability of that, even though Essendon got the clearance battle, was on their terms for the majority of it, the midfield battle was definitely on Fremantle's terms. When the clearances were there, they're them horrible clearances that I hate. Michael Voss used to do it. Oh, we won the clearance count, but then you watch the plus 10 clearances and they're just kicks out of the clearance. They're not any method to it. It's just get it out there. Parish, for me, is that guy that I hate to say this because I know you all love him, but he looks good. You look at the end of the game and you look at the numbers and you're like, okay, this is fairly good. But you watch the game linearly. He's one of them guys that I thought every one of Fremantle's midfield was better. Considerably better, did what they wanted when they wanted to. And Parish he's got the talent to impact. I don't think he did. I felt it was very on his terms. Good offensively, but we're not offensively. We're not on an offensive side. We also need to dig deep. So Parish, I'm expecting more from him. Yep,
I agree. It just pisses me off so much because, as you say, that offensively he was actually very good and he worked hard. He worked really hard to get those offensive. And when I say offensively, I mean he's kicking into the forward 50, some great entries inside 50 and, was a part of a lot of the scores. But he worked hard for those offensive opportunities and just the other way, it's just not happening at all. And there's no worry about him at centre bounce. They're not worried about covering him. That's the ultimate disrespect. And I watched these centre bounce midfielders just not give 2 shits about Merritt at centre bounce anymore. Who's the last player that's worried about tagging Merritt? No worries at all because they're not in it. They're not in it for the hard stuff. So very disappointing again, unfortunately. On to the next guy on this column, Zach Merritt. It's the same conversation, isn't it? Pom, again, the stat sheet, 26 possessions, 20 uncontested, but 20 of them uncontested possessions. A lot of them handball receives, and more often than not, the easy ones around the back. And he didn't use the ball well. He had the equal most turnovers on the ground, Pom. So I I just can't anymore. I can't.
You know what really scares me when I listen to the media as well? I found one of the... I can't remember who it was. I was listening to them on the radio when I was driving home the other day, but they were saying that, like, when you look at Fremantle, they're like 5 years ahead of Essendon. So in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of a win, was kind of how they were alluding. And that made me vomit because I hate that, because you can get battered, but you can improve. Do you know what I mean? You can be building it. And when I watch Zach Merritt, he is everything that me and Fiona were talking off camera that annoys me about modern day AFL. And the good rebuilding sides just decide, right, the kids, they're here because they're better at other things. So we're going to reshift the older guys to dig deep and do the hard stuff so the kids can flourish and get what they want. I watch Zach Merritt and genuinely he concerns me. And I'm going to say this is incredibly harsh. I think if he traded to Hawthorn, it would have been a success. I think Hawthorn, though, are looking at it now and going, fuck, we dodged a bullet there. We dodged a bullet. Like, I genuinely think this is one of them things. And Zach Merritt looks like he's put himself as captain on Supercoach. That's what I've wrote in my notes here. It feels like he's captained himself and he's like, right, I'll just get a lot of possessions. But he's got to be the standard because he's the best player. The best player. And I don't think he is. At the minute, it feels like he's auditioning for, I can still get 30 touches in this rubbish side. I'm still the best player. But if you actually look at it linearly, if I was Sam Mitchell, would I want this here? He might do, but I just don't like his attitude. There's something about Zach. It's been the last 3 weeks for me. It feels like he's getting a lot of the ball.
Culturally toxic. Yeah. It feels to me culturally toxic. And this is what I was worried about. Keeping him at the start of the year, that was the biggest concern for me. And it's coming to fruition. All right, on to the next guys. Now, chat and Pom, you probably won't surprise Pom because you have access to all the stats and stuff. But the next two guys are going to surprise a lot of people with some of the things I've dug up. Now, Will Setterfield was, firstly, I thought we're bringing in Will Setterfield to play that defensive hard-nosed mid at centre bounces to allow our other more attacking midfielders the ability to get the ball. Will Setterfield did not go to one centre bounce. Can you explain that to me, please?
It reminded me of Davey Teague's Setterfield.
Because I can't make sense of it, Pom.
Well, it reminded me of a Davey. We had him at Carlton, so we always used to complain. In the VFL, he played on the ball, and he was like Patrick Cripps 2.0. Then he'd come into the seniors and do what he did for you, play on the wing, because he's got a wonderful engine. It was a weird role. I mean, one thing I'll give Setterfield, though, is he's game, isn't he? And that's the thing that I always just say about Carlton. He's game. I just don't think he has that AFL level class. I think he's just too good for VFL, not good enough for AFL.
In saying that, would this shock you when I tell you that he was our highest rated player in offensive work rate in terms of his speed? So when Essendon had the ball, his work rate was rated the highest for Essendon. So he was actually trying really hard. He was just, I don't think he was played where he should have been played. 0 centre bounce attendances. He started on the wing, played on the wing. His heat map, it's just... Sorry,
look, he's in that beautiful place, isn't he? He's in that beautiful place. When you're playing high up on the wing, that's brilliant. That's brilliant, like really good. His work rate is unquestionable.
Yeah.
I agree. I think you need a body in there, but you've already got quite a lot of flat-footed midfielders in there, haven't you?
Yeah, we do, but at least he's a defensive-minded one.
But how like you've also got to go to win, haven't you, as well?
Yeah, true. Which brings into question the inclusion in the first place, I guess, and that's why some people. I was of the opinion that I prefer him than the other two. That was always my takeaway from the selection, because at least he works effing hard throughout the entire game. That what I just told you, the fact that he's rated the highest player in offensive work rate, that was across the entire 4 quarters. So I don't see any of the others coming close to that. Anyway, fortunately, no chocolates from me. Now, Caldwell, this is going to shock a lot of people, but now I told you that Setterfield was the highest rated offensive player. Caldwell was the highest rated player for defensive work rate on the ground. Freo and Essendon in terms of his speed. So without the ball, whilst the Freo players had possession, his work rate was the best on the ground. The intent to actually defend without the ball was really high. And I was shocked when I saw that he was rated the highest in that stat. But that gave me a reframe of how I actually saw his game, because he was at least trying. He wasn't always impacting. He wasn't always catching the Freo player, but at least he was trying his guts out defensively.
Oh, look, Caldwell does that. Calders is remarkable at negating and being a menace. Like I thought that's what he is.
But no, everybody is nobody. I don't think anybody will say, yeah, I'm not surprised by that. We've all been saying that he's just having a shit year.
No,
but you
I don't
can't
think
be
he's
more
at his
rated
level.
the highest in that.
I look at Caldwell and I don't see attacking dynamic mid. Do you know, I don't look at Caldwell.
But we whinge. We whinge. We have no two-way running midfielders. And that's why that just made me smile a little bit, because I'm like, all right, well, at least one of these guys is actually trying to do something without the ball.
You know, I see it. I mean, Champ Starter, the ratings are bizarre to say the least. But I mean, look, with Colders, I agree with you. Look, you do need more two-way running midfielders. But I would say you need more intelligent running midfielders, bit of pace as well, bit of point of difference. Like it's very samey, isn't it? It's a bit like, you know, when you watch teams like using the Blues as an example, when it's Cherry, Hewitt and Cripps, you know it's not going to go anywhere very quickly. They're going to win a lot of the ball, though, and they're going to make it hard to get through, or they're not going to hurt you on the other way. And I think like the most damning stat in this game, Fiona, is the turnover. Like scores on turnover, was dead even.
Yeah.
So that is where you get scared. When you get destroyed on turnover, that's the clearest stat. You're better than us. We're shit. You're good. Game over. But when you're getting beaten on forward half turnover, defensive half turnover, defensive half scores, just being able to kick it out, forward half efficiency, that's work rate. That's application. They're things that skill level doesn't dictate. That's just a will. Like turnovers, you can feel. I always find turnovers. I'm happy to lose turnovers. It's a skill-based game. When you're looking at effort indicators, that always worries me.
I think just in comparison to what we are absolutely banging our heads against the wall at, and I don't think that's a nonsense stat personally. This one in particular, honestly, the rest of them are failing miserably in that area. At least he's actually trying. And I know you don't like the effort because effort's non-negotiable, but this is where we're at with Essendon. This is
why it would be a great coaching team.
We have to applaud effort. And I'm sorry, but being defensively running two ways, and you know, if you're not impacting, you're not impacting, but at least you're bloody trying. So
no, look, but I'll say this: I think you're beyond effort, Fiona. Like for me,
are we?
No, 100%, right? 100%. Oh, was it you, Adam, who paid for the membership? Thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I didn't see it this morning at 4 a.m. I got a text from Gmail saying, you are now a member of Bomber Banter, right? But my big issue is here, Fiona, right? And it's a very dangerous thing that Essendon are in, and Carlton are in the same place. So I'm talking to both fan bases here. When you're shit, there is an awful method you can go, which worries me, when fans starts praising effort, because effort is a non-negotiable. I appreciate they're not showing effort. No, but they're not showing effort. But the minute you start praising it, it becomes something that isn't expected. It's rewarded. So, like for me with Colders, my issue.
I agree with you.
No, I know. I'm not having a go at you. But what I'm saying is this is where you get into a dangerous line because Jai Caldwell, what is he good at? He's big, he's physical, he can tackle. My issues with Caldwell is not a particularly good user of the ball. If he has 30 touches, will I notice it on the other end? They're the things I'm hoping he gets better at. But with Caldwell, when I look at him defensively, I think he's very easily beaten. Like, I genuinely think he's very easily beaten.
I think he's slow to react. I think he's very slow to react, but he's limited. He's limited. Granted, I'll give you that.
Yeah, my counter is Cripps is slower than my Nan. But one thing Cripps gets away with is he knows where to be. Cripps knows how to cover his weak areas and play to his strengths. And Calder's at times, I feel, is second to the ball, particularly in the second quarter when Fremantle got on top. It's almost like he sat there waiting for the perfect tackle. Go in there and fucking hurt someone, Caldwell. You know what I mean? Like the old Roy Keane method. If I can't win the ball, I'll break a fucking leg. Like, something will happen.
I agree with most of your premise. My thing is, compared to the rest of them on this sheet, except for my Peter Wright, it gets a tick from me because it's more than what the rest of them are doing. And the rest of them who are more experienced than him, who have been in leadership groups, who have been captains. So that's all I'm saying. Doesn't get a chocolate, but I just wanted to point it out because it's worth noting that he's at least
I agree. Look, it's valid, but
it's a two-way run. That's all.
Well, that's damning in itself. Like, for me, if Jide Colwell is my hardest working defensive sided midfielder, I've got big issues.
Well, not necessarily. Is it beyond the realm that maybe his role this year has changed? So some of his metrics are not going to be exactly like they were last year. We may not agree with the new role. We may not understand the new role, but comparing him to his high metrics of last year may not be completely logical if his role has been tweaked a little bit.
Look, it may be tweaked. I'll concede I did not watch Essendon to the linear level that I have to now doing this role. But one thing I do look with Jai Caldwell is I don't think he's playing at the level that he should do. And I would say looking at Essendon last year to now, Essendon were probably better last year.
Jeez, that's a low bar.
Because you had the excuse that there was 58 people injured.
Yeah. All right, let's move on from Jai Caldwell, shall we? No, I don't mean Pixel. I don't mean dropping across all stats. I'm just saying one or two stats. A new role might explain some of those reasons. Anyway, let's move on. Xavier Dersma. I quite enjoyed his game. He had a very aggressive mindset yesterday, and I loved it. He really didn't take a step back, and I thought Freo really had to. Watching the replay, you could see that Freo mid was always dropping off their man to go and support Frederick on that side of the wing, on that side of the ground, on the wing that Dersma was watching. So I think that's a disrespect that midfielders aren't watching you at centre bounce, but I thought that was the ultimate respect in some ways. So I thought he had a really great game, and for just that tackle on Dudley alone and the fact that he just bounced straight back up, it was a bit of a head clash, and he just bounced straight back up and on he went, and then laid another beautiful one as well. Really enjoyed his game.
You know, one thing I look at, and I always look at the linear thing, because like in a past lifetime, body language was basically how I got paid. Xavier looks like he fucking hates losing, and that makes me excited. Like, he genuinely looks like this is life or death. Like, it means a little bit more. I ain't going to lose this contest. And I like that. That's good. Look, work rate, exceptional. I
thought we don't talk about work rate, but I was going to say he actually was rated the second highest defensive work rate player on the ground. So makes sense, doesn't it? We applaud Dersma for work rate. Well, you give Calders his chocolates.
Work rate, work rate compared to let's just say everyone at Essendon does average work rate. He always does exceptional work rate. Like, I feel like he works harder than he needs to. Like, he's tired when he plays. So,
yeah, and that could explain it. Sometimes his disposal isn't great. That could explain it because he's absolutely bloody cooked by the time he has to dispose
I always
of the ball.
say this, like everyone's been panning Ollie Hollands, and I don't think Ollie Hollands is the greatest footballer in the world, far from it. But I will say this, when you're playing on the wing and no fucker moves in front of you, it's very hard to go at 100% efficiency when they're all stood there just waiting for you to thread a pass. And Ollie looked pretty good this week because people moved for him. Xavier's also kicking to a very static forward line, which is putting a lot of pressure on him hitting a target. But yeah, look, I'm happy to come up with one vote. I was quite harsh this week. I mean, look at me. How many Carlton fans will want you to get better?
All right, on to Nick Bryan. As we've already discussed, he had 56% time on ground. And in that time, he had 4 score involvements. So I thought that was a really excellent ratio, to be honest, for a big man. I think he's got quicker hands than I gave him credit for. He doesn't often get caught flat-footed. I feel like he's always on his toes, ready to move or ready to distribute if he's getting a pressured handball coming to him. So I really quite like his quick hands. So I can see him building. And I'm sorry, guys, but now I'm sorry, Brycer, but now you've got to step up to the big table and do it for longer and more minutes.
Yeah, you know what? Tell you what, changing to Indigenous names AFL ruins my spreadsheet here because I was just like, where the fuck have Freo gone? And then remembered they've changed the name to Wallenlup or whatever it is. Yeah, looking at this, I will always look at, there's always a little interesting stat, and it's like a stat that a recruiter told me a couple of years ago that they were looking at for CDT, Cooper Duff Titler, and like the best ruckman in the league at the minute are creating score launches out of stoppage. And there was a couple of things I noticed that he got beaten. Luke Jackson's hard to beat. Like Luke Jackson, in my opinion, is up there with the best ruckman in the competition as modern day would go. I didn't mind Nick. I didn't mind it. I thought he played to his strengths. And it's a big thing that I have about ruckman. If you're playing against Luke Jackson, you're going to get beaten. You need to concede that. But win at something that you can do. And I thought he did it. I agree with what Jack's saying. I'd love to see him play a bit more. I always get wary when you're at 50%, 60%. Is Brad Scott telling me he's that unfit still? That he couldn't do 80, couldn't do 70? Is that what he's telling me? Even more worried when poor Peter Wright gets hurt. That he's not even jumped up. Like if the plan was 50, play 80. Well, we've got to keep Peter as safe as he can. But looking at Nick Bryan, there's something there, isn't there? There is something to work with. There's something to work with. I agree with you, Chris. He's been injured a lot. But like I think 50% ends next week. Because who would be your second ruck?
Blackiston. Which means
we saw how that went.
Well, that's right. That's why I said earlier in the show, I wonder if they feel a bit more inclined to speed up Vigo into the team.
You know what? I don't mind Ben Mackay actually, because
that hamstring really fucked up the timeline, to be honest.
I stole that from Lloyd, your legend, Matthew Lloyd, when he was talking about Ben Mackay in the ruck, and I was like, I actually like this for Harry, and we started doing it. Watching how Harry's turned into a superstar since putting him back in the ruck.
But as in the centre bounce, or just in the ruck when it's in the forward line?
No, in the centre bounce. Like, give Ben something else to worry about. Because I'll tell you, Harry and Ben, it's the same conversation. You guys won't follow Harry, but what you guys say in this chat about Ben, Carlton fans say about Harry, and it's amazing that now he's got something else to worry about. The natural talent is coming as he's trying to work out how to do something else. Atouche, it is a controversial statement because the minute you say Luke Jackson's the best ruck in the world, everyone's like, "Oh, Max gone, 58, all Australians." So I'd say it is.
I think Luke Jackson is just multi-dimensional, more so than what Gawn is. But Gawn is a champion in his own right. They're just different types of rucks, you know?
I like my footballers like the guys I could have a beer with. I'd rather have a beer with Luke Jackson than Max Gawn.
Yeah, well, No, I'm not sure. I'd have a beer with Max Gawn happily, but also I think the beer with Luke Jackson would get quite weird quite quickly. But I'm there for it. I'm totally there for it. Alrighty, let me do my thing. Pom will have a quick chat with you all, and I'll get on to the defenders.
JW, are you a Fremantle fan? Are you a Fremantle fan?
No, J-Dub, aren't you I thought you're a Essendon fan.
Oh, he was just excited about he got all up and about Luke Jackson.
Yeah, he did. That's thrown me too. It's thrown me too. I thought he was an Essendon.
The doc is going beautifully, mate. But I mean, look, we are here at Essendon. Big week this week. So I know it's tough. I did see a comment the other day, right? It actually fucked me off because Carlton fans keep doing it as well. Last week they were, the only way we can make any changes if we don't turn up. And I'm like, fuck off, right? Like, genuinely, get down there this week because Tiger Times boys will be up and about. They'll smell a victory here. And Richmond, they want wins. Like, they're at that stage where even though Harry Van Hattem is a great player, they've invested a lot into their juniors. So they want to win, and it'll be character building. They need you guys down there cheering and fucking getting them around because something's got to give. Like, something's got to give. Like, I fear for Essendon this week, should they lose, because the worst things happen possible. Eagles won, Carlton won, and the only people left to bully are Essendon and Richmond. If Richmond win, all there is Essendon. And I don't think Brad Scott survives. Genuinely,
pack up and go home.
Rayatic.
I think there's bigger things he doesn't survive, to be quite honest, rather than wins and losses. Can
you imagine the press? Because they were brutal. Mm-hmm. Caveat, I was brutal to Michael Voss, but fuck me, I look like Michael Voss's best mate compared to some of the media articles. And can I just give a shout out to Jay Clark, you big fucking dosser? How having the audacity to sack Michael Voss for 6 weeks and then write an article that you were shocked we sacked him. Fuck you, Jay, you dickhead.
Honestly, he is the worst in a very bad bunch. Actually, no, there's another one that's even worse.
Because all week he's been doing these articles like fucking gotta get Corey Enright, gotta get Hinkley. And then we sacked him and he wrote an article going, maybe Carlton have reacted too quickly. And I'm like,
what do you think they did with Ben McKay? I'm telling you, it's gaslighting. It's gaslighting 101. If anybody does not understand gaslighting, just look at what they did with Ben McKay and look at what they did with Carlton now that Voss has been sacked.
And I've seen them articles, all the people going, Ben McKay, shit, worst trade ever. Essendon have cooked their list. And then you drop him and they're like, shouldn't have dropped Ben. Like, think about his mental health. And I'm like, you've been dropping him for 8 weeks. Like,
not only dropping him, but actively using him to humiliate in multiple segments across multiple football shows. When
can I just say,
we've just discussed the absolute disgraceful performances that our midfielders are putting in as well. And there was plenty to choose from, is my point. Share it around. It's a fruit salad. But no, we'll pick him and we'll drive him crazy to the point where he acts crazy. And then when fans go crazy and start booing him, then we'll call them out for going crazy. It is a toxic cycle. And honestly, I want no bloody part of it.
Who was did you watch? I don't know if you were at the game, so you might not have seen it. And most of you were probably at the game today and when it went on. But at the start of the game, they actually asked Brad Scott, is he happy that Ben McKay is back in the team?
Cam Mooney, oh my God, how many brain cells are there? How many brain cells up there are there?
Usually, I watch this game back, so usually I skip the shit, but I actually I was eating, so I was like, I'll watch the free fanfare. I was stood in amazement going, you are paid 6 figures to comment on the game. How the fuck do you not check the team sheet? Like,
yeah, bad, real bad.
Well done, Brad Scott, as well, because I would have said, I would have lied and said, yeah, we're really excited to have him back. We think he's got a big job.
I agree. I thought he handled that way too gracefully. I thought he absolutely should have.
Yeah, I would have taken the piss. Yeah, I would have taken the piss going, yeah, we're really looking forward to the matchup on Tracy tonight.
Wow. And Sarah Jones and what's his name? Lewis. Ex-Hawthorn, ex-Melbourne player. Lewis.
Jordan Lewis.
Jordan Lewis. Sarah Jones and Jordan Lewis are just watching down the camera, and I could see in their brains thinking, hang on, Ben Mackay's not playing, but we can't call out a fellow colleague.
Yeah, Jordan Lewis did that scrunch face, as if to be like, guy real. Yeah, so good. So good.
Honestly, it was a chance, and Brad Scott let it pass. Anyway, all right, let's, speaking of shockers, Mason Redman will not want to relive this game. He honestly was very bad. Was just not it in terms of his entire game. I thought Voss killed him in the first half. His time, I don't know what he was doing with his timing in terms of his spoiling attempts, trying to play Voss like that, just all wrong. Obviously, we know what Voss did in the second quarter. I thought even with his ball use, he was constantly putting teammates under pressure by hand to make it somebody else's problem. Very, very disappointing game from Redders, I thought.
You know what, Pixel? You've taken my question out of my mouth. I genuinely was waiting. When you watch something, you're like, okay, this is not working. They'll make a change.
Well, they did.
But by that stage, it was already, I think Voss had beaten him 3 times before they made the change?
They made the change at half time, but Voss had already kicked 4, obviously, in the second quarter, but he didn't kick 4 in the first. So there was no reason to essentially move him off him.
I think it was 3 marks on him, 2 goals in the first 7 minutes of the second or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I haven't got my notes in front of me.
They went the entire second quarter, yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, look, he's got beaten. Let him reset, put someone else on him. And I know that you haven't got many great options, but Redmond's head had gone at that point. Like, you could say that something had changed in his head. And he's so important, Redmond. So it's a tough one to say. But, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I will stick up for Redmond in the terms of he got battered early doors by a rampant guy. And he's not the reason that Essendon lost. Tough matchup, though. Tough matchup to start.
I mean, I called it, didn't I? I called it. I said that he played on Stringer, and I said after training, I think he's going to play on Voss, and that he did. But awful game. Very awful game. Zach Reid.
He's not a very likable guy, is he, Patrick Voss?
Oh, he's like a negative 12 out of 10 in terms of that rating.
I wouldn't be inviting him for a beer with me and Guelphy.
and Luke Jackson. Can add another one to the table.
I mean, our new podcast.
That is a good night. That's a very good night. Luke Jackson, Matt Guelphy, and Pom.
Yeah,
I would have been invited to that table.
Yeah, a good friend of mine, Gavin, gave a name for the off-season podcast. It's called Lines and Nines.
Love it.
So I reckon that's a good night. But yeah, Zach Reid. This was a tough game. This wasn't it? A tough game up against the rampant forward line.
Sorry, Pub. I was just going to say, I thought he looked more confident to put his body on the line, and in between the catastrophe that was going on down there, he had a full body smother, which I absolutely loved, and I just thought that really set the tone for his day. It was all in his body language for me. 3 big tackles to hurt. I thought he read the ball really well. His distribution can improve, and we know that he has very good distribution in him. But yeah, I thought it was one of his better games.
Yeah. So I mean, look, like I say, tough game. You're going up against one of the best forward lines of the comp at the minute. Functionality wise, midfield not putting much pressure on, so it's coming in even quicker. You put the stat up, I think. I saw this just before the show. Like, first time he's ever played this amount of games. That's insane, isn't it?
I know. I'm so happy for him. Yeah, first time he'll hit 11 consecutive games. So well done to him. Well done to the strength and conditioning team because they were putting the power of work in the off season, and he really did too. So, and that's why every week I just feel like I'm seeing little bits of confidence just come back to his body. And I thought it was another step in the right direction. Was it a completely perfect game? Did he completely kill Jai Amos? No, but I thought it was better.
You know, one thing I will give him in this is that against that rampant forward line, never dropped his colours, which is the first thing I worry about in young, talented footballers. Players that like play someone good, shit themselves early doors. So
for everybody calling this a moz, it's only a moz if when everybody actually pointing it out and saying it's a moz and you're going to jinx him, you're saying that with negative connotations and energy and blah. I was putting the post out and I'm telling you the stat from a celebration, from positive energy, from a lightness. Stop calling it a jinx and rah, 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 rah. That's the part that the universe is going to be like, all right, well, everybody's calling it a jinx. Your wish is my command. So stop it. For me, it's actually love and light.
Exactly, yeah. Don't put thoughts into negativity. J-Dubs, I'd actually say it was a great battle, that. Jaya missed Zach Reed. I actually really enjoyed. This was one of my highlights watching this.
Yeah, Amos has been in good form the last couple of weeks. So
because I'm a bit different to other content creators who are male, like you might watch, but I like to learn and like to be wrong. And you guys telling me Zach Reed was a good player, Fiona telling me Zach Reed was a good player. I've really enjoyed watching his development in this year. I've really enjoyed it. So got a soft spot for Z.
Yeah, so do I. And I just, every week he just, the first 5, 6, 7 weeks, I was like, all right, my faith, it may be starting to be tested, but something in me, I just cannot jump off this guy because I just know what he's got in him. So, all right, are we moving on? No chocolates from you? But
no chocolates from me.
Okay. All right. Well, on to your love child, who probably is getting chocolates in Jacob Farrow. Was he more impressive to you?
You see, inverse what I said about Zach Reed, and I love Faz. I thought he got overawed by the occasion, Fiona. Like I felt there was a little bit of a chink in the armor. I saw it last week.
Oh.
Saw it this week. That where Zach Reed, I've just praised him that he was playing his own game. I felt at times he lowered his colours a little bit, and the kicks that I usually see him take on felt like it. And I said it last week, he was playing for his, I felt like at times he was playing for the stat sheet. This week, I really got that vibe that in the first half, he looked a bit shell-shocked. He came out of his shell and worked through it. But the Faz that I love, these are the games that 5 years down the track are his bread and butter. He takes the game on. He wins the game. So I felt that there was a lot of safe touches there. And I think the one training thing, never forget, I can't remember who the player was now, but my mate worked with him at juniors. I think it was Murphy Reed. I think it was, right? And he was like, the biggest lesson that they taught Murphy Reed towards the end of the year was, I'd rather you go at 10% and have 10 score involvements than go at 100% and have 1 score involvement. And was like, that was something they drilled into him. Like, I'd rather you risk it and turn it over than worry about looking good. And that's a big thing with Faz. I know he can go at 100%. I'm looking for the 70% game, though, where he blows this game open.
Interesting. I can't say I saw his game like that, but I definitely, that makes sense now that you explain it like that.
Yeah, look, I like my halfbacks. I'm going to pick on my other boy in a minute as well. But you've got to take the game on. You've got to take, like, you're there. I agree, Bombers and Pixel, I agree. You can't drop Farrow because he's going to destroy VFL. So AFL, he needs, VFL, he'll go and have 100 touches, dominate. I want him to be shit scared and go, right, I'll take that kick on. So I agree. And that comes from leadership and culture. Brad Scott needs to put him under his arm and go, mate, I don't care if you concede me 8 goals, because in 5 years' time, them kicks win me a flag.
But so I thought, I don't know, when I see him, it looks to me like he's actually he never likes to waste a kick or a possession, and he got run down by Voss holding the ball because he just didn't want to give that first easy kind of handball or kick and release the ball and make it somebody else's problem. And I thought that's why he got run down, because he didn't take the first option, because I think he uses the ball quite thoughtfully. But yeah, maybe I have to watch him a bit closely to see if he's falling in that trap.
So I disagree. From working with juniors at elite level, the most development you'll ever make is 16 to 21. After that, it dies. So this isn't a negative criticism. This is a high level. Like, break the criticism down. You're that good. I want you to take it on. You also don't want him to get in that habit, right? If he's done it 2 weeks in a row now, if that becomes habit that he keeps looking for that safety. Look, he's an 18-year-old man. Put your big boy pants on. You're living the dream, and it's basically kicking in the garden with daddy again. Only thing that changes is Patrick Voss has got bad breath.
Kicking in the garden with daddy. Okay,
that's the mindset. It's the mindset.
Let me also clarify. When I was ranting at you about Zach Reed, I meant when I posted the post on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, everyone saying, don't jinx him. It was a completely collective rant, not just you guys. And I'm never yelling at you. It's all in jest. I love you guys. You know that. All right, on to the...
Chat, you're very emotional today.
I'm very emotional. I thought it was me. Oh, my goodness. I think I've projected that onto the chat tonight.
Chat.
Everyone needs a cuddle. We all need a cuddle.
Chat, we're all the same team. We're all the same team, man. Look, while I'm here, we're the same team. We're the same team. Look, I'm Essendon as well. We're going to be fine.
All right. A deep breath. Okay.
TL, spot on. Look, I'm 13 centimeters too short for the pass as well. I don't know about you.
I can't believe that you guys don't know me well enough now to know that I wasn't ranting at you in hate or rage. It was more a spiritual lesson.
I can't believe Fiona told us all off, chat.
Oh. Hey, I think I get a pass mark tonight. 2 meter Peters just died. I think I get a pass.
Fiona's taking it out on us because her big crush won't play for 8 weeks. Yeah, right.
I mean, it's probably a combination. Can we all agree that it's probably a combination of pain and darkness that has brought me to this point? But anyway, on we go to the captain. Does it get any better with the captain, Pom?
Yeah, look, I keep saying this. So, when we were talking about who were we talking about? Jai Caldwell. We were talking about Jai Caldwell's defensive running. When I watch Andy, I genuinely am convinced the only place to play him is in the midfield. And in games like this, I think it shows why. I'd rather see him in the midfield, trying to lock it down. Like, genuinely, I don't like him in the back line, but it was a meh game, wasn't it, from Andy? But I'll say this, it's got to be the worst job in football at the minute, being captain of Essendon. It won't be very glorious.
Oh, it's just all so painful, Pom. Is there anything that... anyway, he had the most intercepts, the highest number of intercepts on the ground.
I like the way you bring a positive, though. This is good.
That's all. But I was about to say, that's all I've got. That's all I've got for him. Because otherwise, it felt like a nothing game. Like a bit like we were saying about Pryor last week. This is what it felt like for me, for Andy McGrath.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Intercepts. I'm scared. Chat feel like they're on edge, right? And I don't want to tip them over the edge.
Neither do I now. I'm triggered. Pom's triggered. Oh, should we just end the show now?
I'm here just trying to make you better, and it feels like one criticism's going to tip you all over the edge.
This is exactly. Should we end the show now? I think I'll leave it to the chat.
This is what Brad Scott feels. He's looking at his group and they are literally on the precipice. He doesn't know whether to bollock them, hug them. He's at a loss.
I'm seriously asking if we should just end the show now. I'll give it.
Nah.
I'll hand it over to the chat, and you can make the decision.
We've got to learn. We've got to be better.
All right.
We've got to be better.
I can't believe. I was just trying to celebrate Zach Reed. I'm just trying to say that he's making it to 11 games, and it's a beautiful thing. All right, I don't know how we got here, but anyway, let's move on to Archie Roberts.
So
I don't want to start.
So this is for you, Adam, because you missed what I said about Jacob. So this is it with Archie. He's getting in this horrible stage at the minute where there is quite a lot of easy football. And he is a man that can really go up exponentially. So when we're in this kind of situation, backline is so important, whether you're good, indifferent, or shit. This is where we can hurt teams. So Essendon, its blueprint at the minute. It's not going to hurt them forward line. It's probably not going to hurt them much in the midfield. So we're going to always have the ball in our back half. We need to look at the tools that can maybe turn defence into attack. And it's something that Melbourne have done incredibly well, and Port Adelaide have done incredibly well as they enter their rebuilds. Archie, for me, has got to take the game on like Jacob Farrar. It's all well and good having 20-odd touches plus. You've got to start impacting. And I'd love to see that from Archie. Love to see him be a little bit more bold, dare making a mistake, because you've got the talent. So when I look at this 8 names on here, Zach Reed to an extent, but Jacob Farrar and Archie Roberts could get us out of the shit. They've got the talent to get that kick right up the ground in the corridor. We're back attacking, 6 points, brilliant momentum's on our side. Need to see more. And I felt Archie Roberts this week, he actually irked me because it felt very, very just churning the ball, just keeping the ball, just doing the right thing, looking for the easy pass. Be bold. Because we've got Andy there, got Pryor to a lesser extent. They're defensively minded if they're going to play in the back line. Make advantage of it. That God's given you this great gift. Use the gift.
Fair. I actually thought Freo was the first team, well, in a long time it's felt anyway, that actually put a bit of time into Roberts. I thought Swikowski was often blocking his kind of ability to get that handball received, to be a link in the chain, to run on. So I actually think he had to work much harder for every possession he had yesterday than he has for most of the year. And I thought, to his credit, he proved that he could get the ball. Maybe potentially could have been a bit riskier with the kick, but I think his confidence potentially in the first half was impacted. And I guess it's no excuse. Maybe we hold him to a higher standards. He's still essentially a kid, but he probably could have used the ball better. But I thought it was in part to the attention he was actually getting. So I thought a lot of his disposal was under pressure, and that probably explains why he took some safe options. I don't know. Would it?
Look, I mean, there's many things. I mean, look, back to my wing conversation earlier, Zach Merritt FC says no one's moving. That's also an issue, but that's where he's got to start dictating. He is a captain. He is a leader. He's got to start speaking and vocalizing. These are the future of the football club. So,
yeah.
And that's where coming out of your shell, having the confidence, being brave, this is going to get us out of this mess. If everyone just sits there licking their wounds and going, God, this is shit, it's going to get really shit. Because Atouche is in chat. How many times, Atouche, do you say to me, can it get any worse? And I'm like, don't say that, because they always can. Always can. So these aren't criticisms, Adam. If you want to get better, like in anything in life, if you've got talent, you've got to be pushed to see that. If the coaches do what you're doing, with all due respect, Adam, going, he's a young kid, he can't get any better, he's never going to get better. So Archie has the talent to not just be average. He has the talent to be elite. So to be elite, he's got to start looking at this game and going, could I have attacked the game harder? Could Jacob Farrar have attacked the game harder? Answers are simply yes.
And I think that it's important that we put their ceilings, like I said with Caddy earlier in the year, they raise the ceiling so they keep okay, that was okay for the first 10 games, but now raise the ceiling. We know you can do better. So keep holding them to higher standards. Keep raising that bar. That's the only way we get out of this shit, as Pom has alluded to. So I don't mind holding them to higher standards at all and being hard on them. But I think Archie Roberts was still doing what he does best. I just thought he had a lot more pressure on him to do what he had to do. So
this was a game I was excited to see them too, because I thought this is a game where Fremantle are going to dominate. They're going to be the better side. And they're going to have opportunity to hurt them out the back. And I didn't see enough from Faz and Roberts. And I know they're young, but they're going to have to do it at one point, and no one else is doing it. And they're playing senior football, not to be babysit. They're playing senior football to impact.
And in some ways, chat, like this is how our senior players got into the bad habits that they are in now, because nobody was holding them accountable for those things when they were growing and learning and developing themselves and getting in, finding their feet. And that's why they're in these bad habits now and can't two-way run and are flat-footed. It's not necessarily just who they are. It's the habits and the culture that was instilled in them back when they first started. It's like a child in their first 7 years, first 9 years are at their highest rate that they're developing their brains. It's the same thing in the first 3 years. That's the period of time that they're developing the good habits. And we don't have many leaders to help them with that. So we'll have to hold them to the standards on the Twix show, won't we, Pom? Any chocolates from you?
No, feel bad here. I've given chocolates though today.
Have you given any? I don't know. Who did you last give them to? Maybe the forwards. I think the forward list will get more chocolates. All right, on to the next guy, Pryor. Now, Jackson Pryor played a little bit of time on the wing, but mostly down back. And to his credit, he kept Patrick Voss to just two disposals in the second half. For context, Voss had 10 disposals in the first half and kicked 4 goals when Redmond was on him. So I would say, again, role player, job done. He had 2 score launches, so he started literally the chains that ended in 2 scores and had 4 score involvements as well. So I think he played his role. Pom?
You know why look, I know everyone thinks I'm mean, but it's maybe the way that I word it. But look, a team move footballer, 6 out of 10 footballer. What is beautiful about Jackson Pryor is he just did the basics. Don't give Boss the lead. Stay close to him. When the ball hits the deck, smother him. Make it hard. And that's why you've got to be harsher on Roberts and Farrow, because I don't want them doing that. I want Pryor sacrificing his role. And he sacrificed it. So I'm going to give him one vote here.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, we pay these players like Jackson Pryor not to be the stars of the game, but to take someone out. So
yeah, and I love that from Bombers, Rockets, and TL. I'm exactly the same. And I mean, granted, in our defense, when he was lining up on the wing every single week at training, I think we had a right to question shit. But 3 weeks in a row now, I have given him chocolates because I can actively see that he is playing a role, and sacrificing is the perfect word for him. He is sacrificing whatever he thinks his best role is to do what the team needs when and where it's needed. So, and I think he's doing it really well, really, really well.
He's grafting. He's grafting.
All right. Now on to Blackiston. This guy, I think we all agree, looks the further away from goal I feel like Blackiston is, the more confident he is with the ball. When he's up the ground, his disposal is miles better because there is less pressure. And again, he works really hard. He covered the second most highest amount of kilometres on the ground, but close to goal, shaky, so shaky. And I never feel quite confident.
What do you think his best role is? Like, if you had to play him 23, you had to pick him in your 23, regardless of who else is around, where would you put him to flourish?
That's a really good question. At this point, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have a clear answer for that.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, this is like showing mid-season draft is like really important, isn't it? Like really important, but it just feels he's not. This is like where you played too many games. I don't know if anyone else gets the feeling of that with
halfback. Halfback. It's got to be right. Halfback.
Yeah, it feels like this is one of them where you really do see when people say injuries don't count. We've got 40. They've got 44 players. Doesn't really count. Just have depth. This is where depth is, because I think Blackiston in reality wouldn't have played this many games, and we kind of know the answer to that question. But yeah, it's tough. I agree with you. You can't fault his effort, but it's a concern, isn't it?
It hasn't been a concern for me up until recently, though. I will say that. And I thought, was it last week? Yeah, I think last week he had a really good game. I'm starting to, all the games are starting to kind of absolve into each other. So I think it was last week he had a good.
Well, Bisley makes a good point. Why I was getting to that, I feel sorry for him because I've seen him play forward, ruck, back, and he's a new player. Like, even though he's forward. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Even though he's a mid-aged player, he has been just about everywhere. I mean, the only players he hasn't done is mop the floors. So he hasn't really mastered a role yet, which I feel for him because you can see it in his game. Like 1 minute he's a key, next he's loose, then he's been doing the rucking. You can see it's like he hasn't really had that chance to cement a place and master a role. And he's learning on the fly. And AFL is tough to learn on the fly.
Yeah, I think Ray nails it. I think a third defender, halfback, on the third best forward in a team consistently. We have not tried him up forward, and I wonder why.
Well, I mean, in Waffle, he was a permanent backman, wasn't he? So
no, a permanent ruckman.
Yeah,
you're getting confused. He never played defence.
Sorry, yeah. So it's a tough role, isn't it? Like a tough role when you're learning as a backman from a ruck to now doing it in AFL against some of the best players in the league. I feel for him. I do feel for him.
Yeah, interesting to see what happens this week. I mean,
who's the replacement in the VFL?
For him? But for him in the ruck or for him down back? Because down back, the hope is that.
Well, let's just say Brian 100% rucks. He won't. Yeah. Well, let's just say of players fit now, who comes in? Who's killing it in the VFL?
The only player, there's no player killing it. That's the answer to that question. There's a player who's fit who can play that role, and that player is Kale Jarine. He's he's a kind of a forward turned defender who's not really lighting shit up, but when he's given that third defender role, he is really quite good. So,
and I remember him from mine and Felix video when we had to do WA versus country players. So yeah, I mean that's a new role for him. New role from him from his draft. I mean, how's he going in that? Because I mean, one thing that Kale could do was take grabs. He's always had a fair pair of hands.
Uses the ball really well. Really, really uses the ball well. Better than what I thought or have seen. So he's definitely developed in that area, and he's also, credit to him, he's improved his kind of body work and where he kind of positions himself against forwards. He has the ability to take front spot or come from behind. So he has improved in that regard. It's just that he cannot be responsible for the big boy. He takes the third best forward. So when Ridley came into the team, played in the VFL, he had one of his best games. When Ben Mackay came into the VFL last week, he had his second best game that he's had all year. So he really needs that support there and needs to not be left out in the cold on a really quality key forward. But two
follow-up questions. You've got my boy in there, Hayes. I'm seeing you all ask how far away is Hazy?
He's 1 to 2 weeks. So he's out of the no contact cap as of last week. So now they'll want to get him at least another couple of weeks rearing and wearing contact, I should say, getting used to contact again, and then they'll play him in the VFL. But I reckon he's a chance. He's come along pretty quickly, so I reckon one more week of training, and then they might risk him in the VFL.
My follow-up question. So obviously this week, Mason Redman, all 188 of him, took Voss. You're about to come up against Tom Lynch, and I've noticed watching Tiger Times boys, they've swing no Bolter now back forward. So there's another 200 centimetre lug. Who's taking the big defender? So you said Kale can't do it. He's a baby. Who's taking Lynch in the goal square next week?
I mean, maybe Andy McGrath. Just Ben Mackay. Like, that's Ben Mackay's. Yeah. Zach Reid.
And how did Ben do this week in VFL? I didn't watch the VFL this week.
Well, because the VFL is such a professional organisation, the VFL team had a bye.
Yeah, it's the same as Carlton. Like, every time we have an injury and we need to test a player out, it's amazing. We have a bye. How did he go the week before? From memory, it was just an okay game.
No, it was a good game. Very good game. Coaches' votes game. Was intercepting everything, directing everything.
Confidence-wise, looked good.
Confidence, I was just about to say, confidence-wise, looks strong.
Did he do any rucking in that game?
No. Nope.
Well, I'll tell you what, one way you get yourself out of fucking a form slump, isn't it, is against fucking Tom Lynch. Because he engaged. And one thing I'll say about Tom Lynch is he punches you in the stomach, he pisses you off. He's a horrible little twat.
Yeah.
That is probably the perfect person to keep you engaged. Because I've heard horror stories about Tom Lynch. I sat with the Carlton boys who had a fight with him the week after, so they told me what Tom Lynch is. And I love Tom Lynch. Like, I want to play with him because that's the type of player I was in soccer. Nip you under the armpit, stand on your feet, lick your ear. I was a little bit of a dickhead. So Tom Lynch is that. That'll keep him engaged.
Yeah. I mean, is that going to be good for his confidence? I don't know. They might feel...
Fiona, tell you what, sometimes just wanting to punch a twat in the face can do the world of good for your confidence.
Hey, I am pro bring Ben Mackay in. I disagree, Thomas. I thought he had I won't go as far to say had an outstanding game, but I thought he had a good game, and I certainly thought he had influence. But I am pro bring Ben Mackay in. I'm just not convinced they will because selection.
So if they don't, then follow-up question, because I did hear what Adam's saying. Brad Scott alluded there's more time. Throwing a left field out there, is it Zach Reid?
Yeah, well, it has to be.
202, and just say to him, mate, take him into deep water, like make Lynch defend you.
I'm just worried that Lynch just outbodies him, outmuscles him, and knocks him over like a rake. That's my only worry about that. He's certainly got the smarts, I think, and the nous to play him, but I think Tom Lynch just gets his Hulk on when he's standing next to Zach Reid.
And then Tiger Time, correct me if I'm wrong, you've started throwing Bolter up forward, haven't you? Like, so then
yeah, Thomas, I agree.
That's two 205 centimetre fuckers up there.
Yeah, but if they're doing that, who's watching down back? If Bolter's going up forward, are there any back Richmond backmen left?
I mean, that's more of a worry the other end, to be fair.
Yeah, true.
That's
all right.
That's a tough conundrum, that.
Tough day for poor old Lockie Blackerson. Let's move on to Nick Cox. Now, Nick Cox, he played a defensive wing role and halfback as opposed to half forward this week. So most of his time was actually spent in the defensive half of the ground. And I thought it was a bit of a nothing game. I don't think he made life hard for the Freo wingers, anywhere near what he should have. I'm not sure he has, I don't know, much nous for that position. Maybe he needs time, though. I'm conscious that he hasn't played a hell of a lot. So maybe it's just education.
I don't know, looked a bit lost to me.
You can see it's a man who's been out of the game for a long time. I mean, what was it? 600, 700 days, wasn't it, between drinks? So I'm willing to give him a couple of weeks, but this was a tough game. This was a tough game from. To be fair, though, their wings are nightmares. Like J-Dub's blessed with wings from the heavens.
I know.
I do. I mean, like, fuck me.
It's not fair. It doesn't feel fair, Pom.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't mind some of your wingers, J-Dub. But yeah, Nick Cox. Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, beggars can't be choosers. Just looking at the injury list of Essendon brought it up while I was asking you guys questions. Like, there can't be that many players left. Like, to be fair,
not for the wing roll, and it's a rotisserie chicken, that wing roll. We're just throwing everyone through there and hoping something sticks, hoping someone sticks, and yeah, nobody really is taking it. I just don't think he's got all the ingredients. That's the painful thing. So I really, really, really genuinely hope that he can make it on there because he's got the ingredients that you need to play that wing roll.
What's annoying is everyone is doing a Nick Cox. Like everyone is using, like Gold Coast have gone as far to recreate Ethan Reed as a oversized wingman. It's one of them annoying things, isn't it? Like one of them annoying things.
Is that what we're saying? There's hope?
Oh, there's always hope.
Oh, it's so incredibly dire on this line, isn't it, for Twix tonight? Jeez. All right, that takes us to the last line. There might be a bit more happiness here. What do we think, chat? I think there might be. Start us off, Pom, with Perko.
Perks. The Perk dog. The Perky. Look, I mean, the forward line kind of, like, it was dining out like a North Korean farmer, wasn't it, at times, to be fair? It was few and far between. I did like the fact, I've got to say, I did have a chuckle. You probably didn't, but I did. Because they did it to Carlton once, but they had that timer from the last goal. Did you see that?
Oh, it got to 59 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. That's the one that always makes me feel sick, you know, when, like, Fox Footy takes the piss out of your misery.
Yeah.
And that's why I chuckled. I was like, yeah, good game. Well done. So it was a tough game. But you know one thing? I'm going to give Perks a little bit here. I've questioned his commitment to the cause at times, right? But I actually thought he was hauling ass. He wasn't brilliant, but I'll say this. I always think he's a little bit of a DP3 type player. I'll play when I need to. I actually saw a little bit of hunger here from him.
I thought I did too, yeah.
It was hunger.
Yeah, I thought I did too. Yep. A little bit of urgency. That's what it felt like to me. Urgency to actually have some input. And I actually thought he was the best of this role, this half forward role. I thought he was the got the better of the role in terms of out of the handful we threw there. I thought he delivered the footy kind of through the corridor in dangerous positions, which led to scores. So and he's got this ability to. We probably don't have the synergy to do this just yet, but he's got this ability to put the ball deliver the ball into the 50 to a spot where he wants the forward to lead to. I don't think the forwards have that connection yet where they know what he's doing, but I can see that that's what he's trying to do. And that's why I bang on about his delivery inside 50, because I think it's thoughtful. I really do. I think he lowers his eyes and actually tries to deliver with purpose and intent. And that's not what we can say for a lot of our midfielders. So I quite liked his game.
Look, coming as a fan of another equally bad side without any connection, half forward is the worst position to play in them kinds of sides as well. Yeah. Because you're meant to be connecting the midfield to the forward line. But when they don't even connect the ball to the midfield, you're just basically stood there like, fuck, I hope it comes to me. But I did like there is something there. I'd like to see him when the ball moves quickly and how that looks. But yeah, I can't fault him. He gets no votes though, but he was trying the entire game. Like, credit to you.
I give him one vote because I'm we all know maybe Pom hasn't watched him as closely as we all have in the past couple of years, but there was a difference. There was a bump up in intent and energy and urgency, as we've said. And but I'm going to be pissed off if I've given him one vote today and next week we don't see it. But this is now a few good games he's strung together. Not excellent. Nobody get over emotional and misunderstand. I'm not saying they were outstanding, but a positive for him. All right, on to Scooter's favourite in Jaden Ewan.
He's going to win a Norm Smith.
Huh?
I can't believe Fiona just said Perkins is going to win a Norm Smith.
No, you misunderstood. I said he was going to win a Brownlow, not a Norm Smith. Can you get it right?
Oh, dear.
Get it right, Pom. Jeez.
If you can't laugh, you'll cry.
Oh, there's been some tears internally tonight, that's for sure. All right. On to your guy.
Hey, look, you know what? This is like when the ball's not getting in there enough quality, when you're playing like a defensive-based forward, there's nothing that quite kicks in the dick, I always find, as that. As a blue bagger who loves to play two defensive forwards, it's always annoying when you don't even get the ball in there. But you know what? I do like his hunger and stuff. It just feels... This forward line really misses like a Huss type player, a Kako type player, doesn't it? It really misses it. Because like when the ball hits the deck, with all due respect, outside of one guy that I will glaze a little bit later, it doesn't really feel like it's been locked in. But there's a bit of tenacity there, isn't it? I agree with Adam. Like I'd like to see some goals from there, but like he's a tenacious player. But yeah, it's lacking quality small forwards, isn't it?
Yeah, I've written down I'm not convinced he's got nearly enough tricks. And Adam, I think you nail it. I think if he's putting a couple of goals on the board, it's a different story. But I think he's got to find a way. I know it's incredibly difficult in our forward line right now because it's pinging out of there very quickly. But there are opportunities that our big boys are bringing to ground level. And he's got to will himself to find a goal.
Well done, TL. That's the first genuine giggle I've had all day. Yeah, I agree. Look, it's always one of them issues. Like when you are bad, the logic is play defense players. And yeah,
Thomas is right. He isn't a small forward, so he doesn't actually have that goal nous that a genuine small forward does have. So I probably should be a little bit easier on him, but I just think he's got to find a way. If we're going to persist with him in this spot, he's got to find a way.
Yeah, it screams. This had a big Matt Guelphy-sized missing hole.
What? As if you pick that player. This had a Kako-sized hole, and as you said, a Huss-sized hole.
Yeah, but I can't get Cax because he's injured.
Yeah,
but I can get Guelph, and we can go.
I'm not sure the form of Guelph warrants anywhere near a football football ground.
Nights out. That's all we care about. But anyway, look, tough gig being a small forward, but this one will bring us a bit of joy.
Oh, talk about glazing! Get your donuts ready because I'm ready to glaze. Honestly, Archie May, the joy this man brings me. I say it every week, and I will continue to shout it from the rooftops. My next point of call is to get a Skyrider and write it in the sky. Because I tell you what, this guy makes every look he gets count, doesn't he? Doesn't like to waste any opportunity, any minute opportunity that's coming his way. And in a team like Essendon, that is just everything for me. Takes his opportunity, is good once the ball hits the ground for a big man, second efforts, and he's just a competitor using his body. And I think he's holding ground really well now, as you said in the first game of the year. That was eluding him, but I think since then he's stepped up in that department.
Look, I like a little bit of May. You know, one thing I'll say is I did notice a lot in the first half as well. Archer May makes some absolute delightful leads, and everyone ignores him and goes towards Caddy. Like, it feels a little bit like the Harry Mackay, Charlie Curnow era, where we just went Curnow and just ignored Harry. It was kind of annoying me in the first half, the amount of times Archer gets a couple of meters on his man, but everyone's instinctively looking for where's the Caddy's run, and I'm like, just hit Archer, and it took about an hour till someone hit Archer and he nailed the goal.
Well, I will say that Archer May's not alone there. 2 meter Peter does the exact same thing. 3 or 4 leads before somebody will firstly have the ability to hit him. Secondly, is looking for him and not Caddy. So Archer May just welcome to the party, mate.
Yeah, and I'm always a little bit more lenient on keys in bad sides because obviously poor Archer's stood around for 20 minutes at a time with the ball happening at the other end, and the only time he gets a glimmer is when the umpire brings it back into the middle of the ground, and that's the closest it's been to him. So I like the fact he's hungry. I picked on him hard round 1, and since then I did like the fact that he was bullying Luke Ryan at times. And then Heath Chapman, he gave a little bit of a nightmare as well. You've got to be physical. So, yeah, I like Archer. There's something there. And I can see, why he's there. So, yeah, give him, you know what? We'll give him 2. I've been harsh. Archer, you keep showing me. Looking forward to talking about the next guy, though.
Yes. Oh, he had a great game. Hello, Muzz. I'm sorry you've had a shit day, but we've had a shit night. We're all being emotional. Just join in, put the feet up, make a cup of tea or coffee or beer.
Muzz, night, mate. Love you. Muzz, everyone's gone mental, bro.
Yeah,
everyone's gone mental. Chat's lost it. Fiona's lost it. I'm stuck in the middle.
Multiple times.
I'm copping it from chat, Fiona. No, I mean, I'm
copping it from chat. I was royally told off. Christ. Just defending
Fiona's the evil stepmother. You know what I mean? She's making everyone get on their hands and knees and scrub the floor.
How have I become the enemy? But anyway, all right.
But Archer Daywicks, what I like, what I'm loving about Archer Daywicks is just like he's intent. Like the most tackles inside 50 actually worried me. Because I was like, he's the only one that is trying to stop the back half dominating this game. And you know what? I don't reward effort, but I always reward a little bit of ingenuity. If you're not impacting the game, find a way to impact it. And I don't care what you do, whether that's kung fu kick someone in the cheer squad's opposition, just do something. I like the fact that Archer was stopping their best ball users, running off half-back line and enjoying themselves. He looked like he was really trying to do that. Still some deficiencies, though, with Archer. But you know what? I'm liking every week we see a new layer to him. And the fact that he was playing defensive wing for parts of the game, for him to lead the inside defensive forward 50 tackle count, that's huge. Showing his work rate. So, yeah, I liked it. Look, he's still got some things that annoy me, but I like the fact that he was one of the few in this list that tried to impact.
Yeah, I think he has max impact with few touches and few disposals because his work rate offensively and defensively is so sound. And that's why the coaches, Brad Scott, say they want 2 of him because he is constantly in the metrics, high in the metrics for both offense and defense. I know you won't like me bringing up the work rate metric, but I stand by it. And he was the second highest rated player for attack and the fourth highest for defense. So he's running both ways and impacting as well. And you're right, chat, got the absolute worst holding the ball decision that you will ever see.
Umpiring's been shit this week. Have you noticed that umpiring this week has been against the teams losing? Like a couple of weeks ago, I had a theory that umpires were keeping teams in it because when we were playing, we were getting some absolute ridiculous decisions. It was almost like the umpires have been told a mandate, keep the score close. But this week, it feels like the mandate is create as many blowouts as we can as an umpiring fraternity because all the teams that are losing have been getting horrible decisions this week.
Yeah, it was strangely bad though yesterday. Strangely, really poor decisions, and it was the ones that they're giving Freo, but just so blatantly not giving us in the exact same scenarios. Just it was awful.
Yeah, because you watched the Carlton game when we were winning, the decisions went to Dogs, and then when the Dogs were winning, they were going. It was like whoever was winning was getting the decisions. And I was like, what is going on? Like a couple of weeks ago, it was inversed. And it was like you were trying to cheat and keep the scores close. Like, do we want blowouts all of a sudden?
That was a little bit like our game last week. I thought they were very generous to us last week in the GWS game. And this week, they're just like, oh, nah, not doing that shit this week. We're going to go overcorrect.
The only time we got decisions against Dogs was when we hit the front. And then suddenly we had like a very dubious mark decision. And I'm like, okay. So if you win, you get the good calls now, dear. Okay, cool. Hit the lead, boys. Hit the lead.
You know where you're all going to go with this, but it does my head in. May and Peter Wright get absolutely manhandled, arms over the shoulders, whacks in the face. Up the other end, all Brian has to do is put a little hand on the shoulder on Jackson, bang, free kick. Don't mind it. If you're going to pay that, no problem. But don't just turn away when it's happening to May and Peter Wright up the other ground, and I should say Caddy as well.
Do you know what they do, though? Like, Peter Wright is the worst human being in the world for this. He plays too tough.
And too kind. Doesn't yell enough.
No, but because I always say, it annoyed me, but you watch, Rewalt always used to get the freeze. Tom Hawkins did. But they're telling the fucking umpire they're being held. But you watch Peter Wright, like, you can hit him round the head with a claw hammer and he'll still run to get the ball. He won't put his arms up. But tell you who does it a lot. Watch Jeremy Cameron. Jeremy Cameron hires a fucking neon sign in the sun saying, I'm being held. Because some of the holding free kicks he gets, you actually watch the replay, he's holding the defender more, but reacting to the defender holding him. And you're like, how's that happened?
Not fair. Any chocolates for you for Wicker?
Yeah, one, because I like a bit of physicality.
All right. Speaking of the great man himself, Cads had a bit of a shaky first half. Not going to lie, the poor guy's getting friggin' goal opportunities from 50, 55 meters out. He's not converting them when the pressure is there, and I feel a bit for him, but that's going to turn eventually, I think. But in the second half, came alive a little bit. I thought Cox got under his skin a little bit, and his work rate was still there. His heat map is just up and down, up and down. He's just trying to drag his opponent and wear his opponent out. But yeah, a little bit quieter game.
Look, it's annoying, Nate Caddy, because it feels like a game, doesn't it? It feels. Keep saying it. He's on a precipice of a big game and he's in all the right positions. It's just that it needs to happen, doesn't it? The execution needs to get better, but then the delivery needs to get better, and it's just going to be there. But it's annoying, isn't it? Because it was so easy for Fremantle.
They just peel off.
They knew what was going to happen. I mean, put like 8 people on Nate Caddy and and Essendon don't quite have the presence of mind that they have 5 other forwards in that forward line. So they can kick to someone else. You know what? I'll give Nate Caddy, and it's another compliment. Never stops leading, never stops in that. His head never goes down. So that's signs for it. But yeah, you see, Pixel, I used to say this about Charlie and Harry. When you're one of the worst defenses in the league, it is tough that you're not playing against harder people. But yeah, I like the fact he's there. There's something there. He needs it, doesn't he? Like, we really need to have a breakout game, because I think Nate Caddy could do some damage. Hopefully this week he's playing some not
I don't see it as he needs a breakout game. I think he's had plenty of really, really
no, but I think he's going to have, like, I'm talking 8, 9,
like a big bag. Goals. Oh, like a big bag. Yeah. Well, he's had the opportunity. He's having the opportunity.
So I'm guessing you do what we do. where you play half your first team versus half your first team in match sims. So occasionally he gets the second best defender, which in them days was players like Lewis Young, and I could kick 5 on Lewis Young. So we've already got one good key. We used to have 2 good key forwards. But yeah, look, I like Caddy. I just feel like he needs a big game because I feel like that'll just blow it all open then, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, I want him to nail the moments on Anzac Day in the big moments when it was still in the first quarter. I know the shots on goal were from far out, and that's why I made a point of it. But I'm starting to worry that when the pressure is at its highest and when it's mattering almost the most, that he's just not quite able to convert just yet. And that will come, and he's building that, and he's still a young key forward, so he will evolve. But yeah, beautiful mark, beautiful kick from Roby to Caddy. That's what you love to see. But it's taking nothing's coming easy. It's taking him like he has to take really big, good marks to get anywhere near it. Unfortunately, wish we made his life easier. But
if he was in the top 10 teams, he'd be having the time of his life now, Caddy.
Yeah,
interesting.
So true.
Thomas saying he's got a private kicking coach. Like, I don't know who that is, but. Has he gone Ben Stanley?
Doesn't surprise me at all. Like, he speaks to Nick Riewoldt regularly. If he's talking to Riewoldt, that's great. Or any other greats. As much outside help you can give yourself, as much extras. That's what the greats do. They seek extra. It's all about how much are you putting into yourself outside of when you leave your workplace to improve your craft. Because the greats, that's what they do. They don't get great just by clocking off at 5 and saying, all right, I'll have a healthy meal for dinner and that's my work job done outside of work. They go the extra mile. So glad he's doing that. Would be surprised if he wasn't.
Little champion, is he? I do like Nate Caddy. Do like him.
We love Cads. All right. Oh, any chocolates?
Negative, but
yeah, me neither. All right, on to
this week.
Yeah.
What a proper footballer this guy is. This is something I can get around. Nat 5 2.0. Less shit hair. Like this kid. You know what I like?
I've already declared him a Brownlow medalist. I know. I'm sorry, Archie Perkins, but this is the real one here, future.
Archie's going to win it first, and then obviously Sullivan's going to take it off him.
Yeah, we're going to have 2 because that shit happens to Essendon. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what I love about Sullivan, right? Is look, my old state golf coach, my old county golf coach used to tell me start well and have your shit in the middle and finish well. So if you're going to be shit in the middle. Start well, end strong, and the middle try and break even. And Sullivan Roby does that because I thought he came out of the blocks like a house on fire. But then I thought his third quarter, I would say by my eye, he was close to best on ground in that third quarter. Like
his third quarter, he's the one who turned it. He turned it. Three centre-bounce attendances, 3 clearances. Bang.
And I'm huge on this. I'm huge on this with that. It's why I've been mean to Farrow and them guys, Nate Caddy a little bit, Roberts. You're there to do a job because the other guys are incompetent. This is why you're playing at 18. That's why you play in the first year, right? He was a leader. That third quarter, he looked at Fremantle, and I know a few of you said it in the chat. Oh, but Pommy, Fremantle are good. Cool. Brilliant. I'm well aware. Sullivan Roby didn't think that. Sullivan Roby in that third and fourth quarter, he didn't look at Caleb Sarong as an equal or a competitor. He looked at him as someone who was stood in the way, and he threw him and treated him as such. And that mentality, when you're in the trenches, is so, so important. Like my granddad used to say to me, war veteran, be around men you would die in the trenches with. Sullivan Roby, I would happily be in the trench with him because I know that guy's going to take some fucker with him. So brilliant. Like, I'm going to give him unprecedented 5 Twixes because I think playing for this football club means something. And there was 23 men. Well, actually, that's a lie. There was 21 boys out there. One man went off injured and played till the end, and there was one leader out on that pitch. And Sullivan Roby represented, for me, the honour of playing for Essendon Football Club. Absolutely phenomenal.
I just remembered that 2 metre Peter is out for 2 months.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
But that was a beautiful compliment and well-deserved. Yeah, there's not much more I can add. I mean, almost half of his disposals are contested at this point. 7 ground ball gets. You look at the guy and you don't think this guy should be good below his knees. That good below his knees with the football.
It's disgusting to watch, isn't it, to be honest? Like, I mean,
absolute filth.
The fact that the guy was like a circus act 2 years ago and somehow managed to keep the skills of a midget is, you know what? Adam keeps saying it, and I'm sure it's bait, but you know what? When I watch you guys, something happens to me, and I actually watch you guys as if I'm an Essendon fan. Like, I haven't put the Essendon shirt on, but it is neatly folded up there. But when I watch it, I got Patrick Cripps vibes from him. Like, it was someone who was like looking around going, I will fucking take a bullet. All you've got to do is stand up with me. Like, that's all you've got to do. And I remember when Judd got hurt and Cripps did that, watching Sully, that's how I felt. I was like, this guy here needs to be empowered to look at the pricks in the midfield and go, I'm 18 and I'm taking these guys on. Are you coming with me or fuck off?
Honestly, comparing him to Cripps, I know we've got Dyson Sharp who, oh God, just all my guys are going down and out. But who's captain in waiting, and Archie Roberts, who has it as well. But Sullivan Roby could be a captain in his own right with the way he has that attitude about him and his ability to, because guys will follow that. The young guys will want to follow that. You know, he doesn't strike me as a follower. He strikes me as a leader, and he's showing it in everything he's doing at 18 years old for a big club with big angry supporters and emotional supporters that want to win and are frustrated and angry, but he doesn't care. He's a bit like Caddy. I feel a bit grateful for him, more so because Caddy, I'm happy that Caddy doesn't feel alone in this now. I feel like he sees Roby and he thinks, oh, yeah, there's a guy in my end of the ground, because obviously Archie Roberts is up the other end and plays in the same way, in the same spirit. But I feel like the essence of what Caddy plays with is what Roby plays with, and that they're going to connect. They're just going to bond over that, and that is the shit. And when Sharp comes back in, he'll be another tether to that. But that is the shit that is going to get us out of it.
You know, there was something in Michael Voss's exit interview that really makes me think of Essendon as well, because he was talking about that when you come to Carlton, and he said the big four. Like, he said that even though success might not be on the field, it's different. Like, it's different. You walk through the walls, and Essendon have the same as Carlton. 16 premierships. The AFL is fuck all without Carlton, Essendon, Collingwood, if we're honest. It's fuck all. 90% of its entire history is between us three clubs. And I think there is a certain level of respect it deserves above everyone else when you play for this football club. And so Robbie deserves that. He honours the Guernsey.
Yeah.
A lot of players, you know, when we do the Anzac game and we have all the dead soldiers that played for us, like, that's an honour. That's an honour. In the terms of, like, that's the levels that people will go to for this club. They are the heroes of the battlefield of football. Robbie's amazing. Future for Essendon, as much game time as you can get into Robs, Sharp, Roberts. They're the future midfield trio. Next year, you're going to have Harry Van Hattem coming in. who is like a baby.
Oh, Chad, Pommy's already wooden spooned us. Okay. All right. Best we start to get emotional about that now.
But even if you don't, you've got
12 weeks.
Noah Williams. You've got Noah Williams, right? Because Archie Roberts, I don't care what anyone says, ain't a halfback flanker. He's a midfielder in waiting. So Noah Williams is one of the more exciting players. He's my boy in this draft. Absolutely love him. So even if you don't get Van Hatton, you've got that. There is a plethora of rucks later on in the draft, which Essendon have got a boatload of picks. So there's some South Australians there who is baby Luke Jackson, right? So that is super exciting as well. So like you've got a lot there. But when I watch Roby, I agree with you guys. I'm looking in the eyes of these guys and saying who's willing to fight. And I had a bit of a tear in my eye watching Roby in the third, because it reminded me of watching Cripps for so many years at Carlton, going, this guy is younger than you. I remember saying it about Cripps. He's the baby, but he fucking cares more than Mark Murphy, Cade Simpson. Why aren't you caring? And then he became a man. And I'm asking the question about the guys he's protecting. Why don't you care like Cripper? Got to make sure that Sullivan Roby is allowed the power to go to Zach Merritt and slap him round the face and go, fucking work for me. You work for me now. If you're only here for a year, you work for me. Yeah, you've got to empower him, because before you know it, people like that get treated like shit at a football club. And that's what's happened to Patrick Cripps. He will do it every week. He will do it all the time. He's our great white hope. He needs to be empowered to be able to call out anyone who doesn't, because last week, he showed he was the only one not scared. He would have taken them all on. So fair play to you, Sully. That's tough to do when you're 18.
And in a very poor team as well, which makes it mean more, I think, in my opinion. All right. Maybe we should have closed on that one. I should have put him last on the list, because now it feels like the tone is about to change. But how did you see Kyle Langford's game?
Someone needs to explain to me why Tom Edwards isn't in this side.
If I had a logical, rational reasoning for you, I would offer it. I do not.
Yeah, because I enjoyed Langford when he was down the back like 2 or 3 weeks ago, when he was like that link role, and like that was one thing that was working. And it's like we've moved him to the forward line, and he's basically playing like an Audi version of Edwards. But Edwards was getting results, and then like the guys who were playing like the defensive wing are stinking up the gaff. So it's like the one thing that Brad Scott did really well 3 weeks ago, he's got rid of it and then ruined 2 things that were working. It's like he's playing a game for how to make more problems.
It all started with Tom Edwards on the wing. I told you it'll be a while till I get over it, and I'm not over it still. But that started the muck. It disrupted the flow. Everybody knows when in the spiritual word, when you're in a flow state, you don't interrupt that purposefully. It gets interrupted by the world, but you don't actively interrupt it. So you're right. He saw a problem where there was no problem, and then said, I'm going to create a problem, and then went on to create multiple problems. He looks shot of confidence to me. Does not use the ball well. I will say some of his ground ball work, very good. Like I could live off the handball he gave out. I think it was on his back, like a turtle who flipped, and it was on his back, and it was a desire to win that ball. Unfortunately, it was in the second half, late in the second half, when the game didn't really matter. But so I'll give him his ability at ground level, but all when it doesn't matter, Pom.
Sean, I used to joke that was how Michael Voss picked his team, so it wouldn't surprise me. It might be an ex-Brisbane thing. I used to sometimes just think it was a dartboard. He just chucked it and goes, don't give a fuck anymore. You're playing wing. But yeah, no, it's a weird one.
I honestly think Blog has nailed it. Langford is the quick fix gap filler stuck on filling a position to put Langford there. And I think it's because just to keep him in the team.
I truly think
see,
it's
this
just
is
to
what
keep
shits me,
Langford
like-
in the team because dropping him looks bad.
Yeah, and you see, to me, like, you don't worry about optics. Like,
Of course, you don't worry about optics. We're here to win football. Who gives a
but
shit
you
about
do-
what it looks like?
No, I agree. No, I couldn't agree more with you, Fiona. Like, and honestly, look, you're in a bad situation at the minute, so it doesn't matter who fucking plays. I would rather lose with the guys that we're sticking with in 5 years' time, other than Carl Langford, who won't be here in 5 years' time. Like, Edwards playing this role, he was nailing it.
Yeah.
She's scary, isn't she, only Carlton, when she's like this?
Now you're just baiting me. I'm not taking the bait.
Would I?
I'm not taking the bait. I'm not taking any of your bait. I can't believe the chat has treated me like this on a night when I'm so vulnerable.
God. Pack your bags, chat. We're going on a guilt trip.
Honestly, what a journey we've been on these past 2 hours. Man, it's been a weird 2 hours. I'm not going to lie. The emotions.
Look, I've really enjoyed it. Like,
oh, well, I'm glad you've enjoyed yourself. You're just brimming from ear to ear. I can see you trying to contain yourself.
I'm going to be honest. Look, I really like. Look, I have got proper masculine energy that I like fixing shit. So, like, I've actually felt kind of useless this week because Carlton won. So, like I was kind of like, oh my god, like I get to do a review where I just basically glaze people. This is good. I like this part. But there was a part of me that missed like fixing it and how do I fix it? So I was actually
no, you don't. You wouldn't trade it. You wouldn't trade it to fix it. Trust me.
Nah, because Fiona, like, fuck, like I said to everyone, like, you've got to enjoy it because round one was ages ago for me. It was like 8 fucking weeks, like, and then everyone keeps saying this to me. Oh, don't get too excited, Pom. And I'm like, I waited 8 weeks for a fucking win, mate. What do you mean? Like, next week we could lose by 100 to Port. Like, I'm gonna have a bit of fun because otherwise,
absolutely.
Like, what do you want me to do in the review? Cry that we won? Like Jesus. I've been fighting tears for 8 weeks, so this has kept me going for another 8 weeks. But
I am you know, I'm telling you in jest. I don't have to tell you this. You know, I
think I've been quite good. Do you know what I mean? I could have gone out here with a fucking Carlton and like pictures of Crips. Do you know what I mean?
I would not have held that against you. And you know what? Ordinarily, I wouldn't have even brought it up. I would have been like, go for your life. It's just that an hour before the show, 2 Meter Peter went down and it just blinded me. It threw me for 6. So, yeah, you're right. Adam, thank you for the reminder. Who gets your
Adam.
half a Twix?
Keep
Who
us
gets
in
your
check,
half a Twix?
mate.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate you.
Half a Twix to maybe potentially the greatest footballer to ever play the game, Sullivan Roby.
Oh, yeah, okay. I think I said the rule was you're allowed to give 5 even though 5 is the max, you're allowed to give 5.5.
Look, we just do what you want. Let's do it. Sully, get around it.
You know what? Fuck it. He's getting mine too.
Go on, Roby. Go on.
Oh, all right.
Tiger
There
time.
we go. Let's cheer me up.
Sully match up on? Who will Sully match up on? Who will you send to Sully? Will it be?
Tiger
you
time.
won't send Hopper to him, will you?
Surely Hopper goes to him. He's the only big body that can. Can't send the babies.
Because they're quite diminutive, Rich.
Yeah.
Like, just going through it, I can't think of a specimen. Oh, yeah, Jack Ross.
Jackie boy.
Yeah, because he always gets a little bit of Crips. I like that.
Yeah,
like that.
That's a good call. What's the 2 Meter Peter update? I missed it. All right, let me scroll. 2 Meter Peter. Look at her go. I haven't moved this quickly all night. You can't see how quickly I'm moving, but my finger is moving quickly. Just take my word for it. 2 Meter Peter injury, maybe shorter timeout. Scott hoping to. Yeah, but Brett Scott has lied to me before when it comes to injuries.
Yeah, Scooter, in fairness, he also thinks that moving Carl Langford to Tom Edwards is a good idea.
But you know what? Just for my mental sanity and my emotional state, I'm going to say that yay. Maybe it's only 2 to 3 weeks. I don't fully believe it and I don't fully embody it, but I'm going to
got
choose
on this week for the Richmond show.
Chris, of course, from Tigercast.
Yeah, you had a I like the Fremantle guy.
Oh yeah, how good was Regan? He's great. He's wonderful.
That's the great man of Touche. Touche had me in tears. I had actual tears when he said it's like watching Druzy in HD. Absolute brilliant. Genuinely one of the funniest things I have ever seen in the chat. I was actually physically crying.
Well, I'm glad you were enjoying yourself. I was enjoying myself because the guest was.
Yeah, well, I was nice to him. I was nice to him.
You were very nice to him.
Just that comment threw me massively because it was so good. It was so good, Atouche. Well played. Atouche is brilliant in the comments, just so you know.
Yeah, Only Carlton. Shout out Only Carlton, Atouche. You keep things interesting and funny and light, and that is what we need in these dark times that we are in.
Atouche ruined Geelong's one as well. Geelong, if you ever get to watch fan cams with Geelong, Atouche just absolutely derails that show.
Of course he does. He's
with
only here to
stupid questions, but they don't know how to handle him. Like, you'll tell him to shut up, like I do. They humour him to the point that it actually ruins the show.
Oh, I
don't know. No, they stop talking about football and start talking about curtains, carpet, shit like that. Like, he's absolutely brilliant. I don't know how he does it.
They need a like a out button, you know, like a parachute button, like pull the parachute and get me out of here.
It's elite. So honestly, to shout out you.
I don't watch people in cat costumes. Can confirm that they are very against the cat man or whoever he is. They are not fans. No affiliation to the cat man. It is human clothes.
You want to be careful, Pixel. I got a load of complaints when I asked a legitimate question. Is that just a thing he does for the games? Or is he like one of them people that lives like a cat? And I had a complaint because I didn't know. Like, I don't care. So I just thought, like, maybe, like, that's
what do you mean you had a complaint?
Oh, someone from Geelong was like, Catman is an iconic member of the Geelong Football Club and brings people together and the work he does for the community. And to belittle him saying that he has a mental health problem where he believes he's a cat. So I played the game and I replied to them and goes, thank you very much for your concern. Just to let you know, I am very distressed that you think it is a mental illness if someone wants to live their life the way that they choose to. In 2026, we're allowed to be anything we want. And as long as we're happy and not hurting anyone. So I am quite upset that you think it's less if he were to live like a cat. And she never replied. Obviously, I couldn't give a shit, to be fair. But sometimes you've got to play the game. But genuinely, I did want to know.
But what if Catman, what's the word? What are they saying? I identify as a cat. What if Catman identifies as a cat?
No, but you know, when you watch them like My Strange Addictions and stuff, and like some people like genuine live like a cat.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
some people who are married to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, so I was trying to work out.
People who think they're married to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if it was like a shtick. So like he just genuinely lived like a cat 24 hours a day. Like, or if he was like it was just a genuine question. Like, was it a mascot or was it like a real thing?
Are you trying to tell? Should I go plain woman, not plain man? I'll start dressing as a pilot.
Do you not have a chick? You see, TL, that's what got me in trouble because my example was I was trying to think of how to word it pragmatically, and I said, so like, does he like eat a shitload of like tinned food and piss in a litter box? And I think the way I described it probably upset someone. It wasn't meant to be. Do you have a female one? Because like Carlton, we used to have Captain Carlton.
What? Oh yeah, we do. We've got a female mosquito. Yeah, a lady mosquito.
What's she called?
Fuck, I should know that, shouldn't I? I don't actually know. I don't even know how to Google that question. Somebody in the chat tell me.
Oh,
surely she has a name.
Sky.
Sky. Of course, Jade. Yes, you know that. Sky. Yes.
Wife. Bird.
What?
Wife. He goes, a wife. Just a bird. Bird mosquito. That's what I would say. What,
I'm not gonna.
Why mosquitoes?
I've never seen a lady moz. What was that, Pom? Sorry. I was reading the chat. Yes, Jade knows all the things. Well, they're the pilot.
I've never seen
it's a mosquito pilot.
Yeah, that just makes no sense. Because some of them make no sense. Like some of the mascots don't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, I knew there was a mosquito fleet in the 1930s. There you go. That's why when we ever have a baby crop, the baby bombers or the mosquito fleet. Is that why? I'm assuming that's why.
I'm surprised you're in 2026 allowed to be called the Bombers. You would have thought someone would have got upset about that.
Oh, they have. I'm sure there was angry emails, I think, on the weekly that Pauline has to deal with down at reception there. I think she has to.
That's elite. That's elite.
I mean, people are complaining about anything. Surely you know this by now.
Oh, dear. Yeah, I'm just. It did make me think someone would be like, "Yeah, fucking all the warfare that's going on. This is a bad message to my children." You know what I mean?
Atush, you're killing me. You're actually killing me. I mean, this logic. Why would a mosquito be a pilot? That's stupid. They can already fly. Why would they need a plane?
Atush's logic is brilliant.
The way your brain works.
Genuinely, it's good. It's good. Yeah, I don't get the mosquitoes, to be honest. I understand they fly, and the mosquito fleet makes sense. I'm guessing small, fast, forward.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we haven't had the need to use that terminology in recent times because we
couldn't you I would have thought cute little planes would have been cute.
What is the mascot? Well, he's got kind of planes. He's got wings on his back.
Yeah, most mosquitoes do.
Yeah, but they look like plane wings.
That's just ridiculous now, isn't it? We've just now we're just absolutely taking the piss.
Well, now I think we're just. I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that the mascots are meant to be analysed and dissected. All right, so they don't look. They're not plain wings. They're actually mosquito wings.
I was going to say that would be brilliant if he had Boeing 747 wings.
But he always wears the glasses, the goggles, I should say. That's what made me think that he was like a pilot.
Which is ironic because you'd wear them so you didn't get mosquitoes in your eyes when you're going fast.
You're right. This is insanity, right? You're right, David. This is junk time. So on that note, we will bid you all farewell because I feel like that's a veiled just end the show. So let's do that. Thank you to everybody.
Cheers, David.
Yeah. Thank you to all of you who have stuck around tonight for the hysteria that this night has been. It's been a ride, that's for sure. Up and down, some good, some bad, just like our team. Okay, so we're getting some more details. Sorry, we've got to get to the bottom of this. Named after the Essendon teams of the early 1920s, it's a crossover of pilot and mosquito. I thought it was the goggles, the flying goggles. All right. Well, I'll thank you, blog. There you go. Some love. Great show.
Thanks,
big love for you. Yeah, absolutely. Proper loopy. All right. Just hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I've got nothing else to say. Pommy, enjoy your week on the winners list. Who knows? It might only last a week, but I hope for you, because you're a member of the family, that it doesn't. I hope for us that it doesn't, purely because we could all use a bit of a morale boost. Outside of that, I'm not sure of what good it does. But anyway, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Pom.
Much love. Thank you, everyone.
Enjoy the rest of your week, everyone. See you Thursday night.